It's still 8 p.m. on my clock. What time is it there, Dan?
8 o'clock. This is the first time.
Franklin, what time is it there?
8:01.
Don't even say it. It's not 8:01. And if it is, because it's your stupid Android. Now it's 8:01. But we've been on for the last 18 seconds. So we actually were on time. It's amazing.
Did you see my comment?
Let me see. Yeah, never until today. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm turning over a new leaf, guys. Give me a break. So bear with me. We're just going to give it a couple minutes to let people come in. But we were just
sure
chatting off air.
You want a fun topic while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was reading today that scientists are working on, this is like straight out of Jurassic Park. They want to bring back what was it?
The woolly mammoth?
Yeah.
Because you said what, and I'm thinking woolly mammoth.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's one of the extinct animals, but they have a whole list of them, and they're gonna basically bring them back, and you're gonna be able to pay and go see them and see all these extinct animals that they're gonna bring back to life.
This is the beginning of Jurassic Park.
Yeah. They're aiming to have, I forget what type of tiger it is. One tiger by 2025. No. Anyway, they have a whole list of extinct animals. 2025 is their first target date. 2027 is for the woolly mammoth, and they're going to keep going.
So what website was this? TheOnion.com?
No, it's a legitimate thing. There's like an actual paper and everything. It's crazy.
I'm sure they could, but did they ever stop to think that maybe they should?
Yeah. Okay, Jeff Goldblum over there. That's exactly who you sound like. You got to say it in a deep voice, though.
Yeah. And with I got water dripping down my hand.
Yeah. Greetings from Alberta. Jeff is in Alberta. Is that Jeff? Or the thing's blocking it. I can't see if it is Jeff.
It's Jeff.
Yeah, I think it's this. It's Jeff. Yes. Yeah. Last episode we had people from all over the place, not just Alberta, but I'm sure the people will trickle in. It's only a couple minutes, and you know what it is. If anyone is accustomed to this podcast, they know, like, they're looking at 8:03. They're thinking, okay, there's no way they're on yet. So they're not here because they're not expecting us here. But we have turned over a new leaf. At least for this week, we've turned over a new leaf, and we're actually on time. I said 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we went on at 8 p.m.
Well, usually you're Elon Standard Time, so that's why the issue is.
Yeah, I know, but not this time. This time we're doing good. And just like last week, I've got a little libation. Just so everyone knows, I'm not drinking on camera. I don't do that. This is
don't do that, he says.
This is a Canadian Coca-Cola. Is it bubbly or bubbly?
Hey, no free ads.
No, it's not a free ad. I'm just letting people know that I am completely.
No free ads. Don't give them a sponsor. They got sponsor if they want to get on there on this podcast.
For the 50 people that watch this every month, I don't think I need to sponsor. Oh, Raymond is calling you out, Franklin. Is there no? And I guess I'm putting you on the spot. Is there no longer a Mother Frunker?
No, there still is. I just haven't made a lot of content lately. Been super busy with a whole bunch of stuff. I've been working on a startup that I want to get launched by December, or like an alpha build of it. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're good.
Okay, good.
I just been using my personal account more on YouTube, because it has a check mark that I don't pay for. So I figure why not.
Wait a minute. Okay, we're not. Let's. Okay.
Yeah, we said no Twitter. We said
it's going to be yes. Let me.
Hey, you asked me the question.
I asked you a question that Raymond asked you.
Yeah, because if you look at the chat, I'm using my personal account basically.
Oh, you are. I didn't even realize that. Yes, you've completely gone off the rails. Okay, that's fine. And your lower third there, your little name tag on the screen just says Franklin. Anyways, let's get started. 5 minutes in, we might as well get started.
Let's play the music.
Let's play. There's no music. Dude, don't put me on the spot. There's no music. Oh, there's music if you're listening to the audio version. You're right. So say that again.
Let's wait till he figures out. What's our first topic, Dex?
Okay, well, no, let me introduce you guys first and welcome everyone to
Okay,
the Tesla
okay.
Talks podcast. Welcome everyone to the Tesla Talks podcast. Franklin was rude and he didn't want to do that. He just wanted to get right into the topic. You need to have foreplay, dude. Come on, you gotta ease into this kind of thing, and you gotta introduce the guests up on the screen. If the screen is showing you the same as I'm seeing the screen, we've got Dan from Northern Tesla. How's it going, Dan?
Good. Thanks. Thanks for having me up here.
No problem. A nice rocket.
Thank you.
Couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Like-
Okay. Franklin.
Hey, how's it going?
Do I just call you Franklin, or do I call you Franklin, formerly known as, or
No,
I don't know, Franklin?
I'm still gonna make Tesla. I don't know why. Okay, here I flipped.
Okay. No, don't change. Be who you are. Don't change on our behalf. Be yourself. Okay, Franklin. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
It feels so different. I'm not accustomed to talking to you guys. Last month I did this solo and it was so good. Sorry guys. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Okay.
We'll just leave you at it then.
No, I know. I'm kidding. I was wanting to see how many of you guys would drop out.
All right, have fun, guys.
No, stop it. Don't do that.
How long was that podcast without Franklin getting you all your tangents?
It was pretty long. You know what? I think it was the average 115.
Okay.
I think it wasn't a record breaker, but I did shout you guys out. I did appreciate having to, look at the chat myself and try to organize it and keep it chronological and stuff like that, which was hard because I know Franklin usually does that for me, even though now he's taking his glasses off. And I don't know. Are you okay there? You need a moment?
Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast, guys. It was last month. I think, actually, you know what? I think it was only like 3 weeks ago when I did my last one. So we are back with a little faster schedule here, but we've got lots of topics. Incredibly, yeah, we have lots of topics. You guys have been good. I know you had a little hiatus, guys. I gave you the last month off. Still paid you though, but I gave you last month off.
I was gonna say I still got the paycheck, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll
And
work.
if I do let you go, I'll give you tons of severance. What I was gonna say actually about that before we even start is this will be a Twitter-free podcast. If you want to know about Twitter and everything that's going on in there, unfortunately, this isn't the podcast. We're going to talk about that. I'm just guessing that people that come on here probably want a break from all that kind of stuff. So if you don't and you want us to talk about what's going on in Elon and Twitter podcast world, we're not going to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of miss regular Twitter before this nonsense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we won't see the T word anymore.
That's it.
What we're going to do is get our first topic, get right into it. Look at that. We're 8 minutes in, not bad. And 8 minutes. I'm actually probably 5 minutes in because I waited a few minutes to get everything going. So this broke yesterday. This is our first topic. If you're following at home on the audio part or just the audio part, we're talking about Apple Music soon coming to Tesla in all their vehicles. It's one of those things where I remember seeing this yesterday in different forums, different groups on Twitter, on Facebook and stuff like that. People now, I know we've got someone in here that it's not an Apple person, and that's actually a good thing because I want to get your take on it. But I found this exactly like how Spotify was years ago. If anyone hasn't been following Tesla, there was one point in time where Tesla didn't have a Spotify in the cars, but everyone was asking for it. It was like relentless, just pestering Elon and Tesla to put Spotify in. And when they finally did, they put it in some big, huge. It was one of the holiday updates too, was it not? If I remember correctly, guys. And they made a big deal about it. And a lot of people were grateful and appreciative, but there was another set of people that were like, oh, well, you should have had this. You should have had, it's like, those are the people in life that you can never please. That's how I look at it. And I noticed that again yesterday with Apple Music. People are like, oh, Apple Music? I thought it was Apple CarPlay. It's like, these are the people that you can never please no matter what you do. But anyways, it's in one of the, let me just see. It's in one of the few rare software versions. I think it's 2022.40.50. This article's from our friends at Drive Tesla Canada, and that's where it's showing up. It showed up on a Model S. It's in a developer software, but if you're looking, you can see that you've got your tune-in, you got your title, you've got all the other streaming options, and now you have Apple Music right in the bottom, and they're going to do it in a way. I don't know if Darren has it in here. Yeah, he does. If you scroll down here, it's going to be one of these QR codes where you just put your phone to it and you log in that way, which that seems to be the route that a lot of these streaming places or these online places are going, where I find it easier. I think it's pretty easy to log in. I know Plex does it this way too, where you can just do the QR code. But what do you guys?
Does it as well?
Yeah, Netflix does it too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going towards that. Are you guys? Do you think this is a good thing, or do you don't care? Like, what's everyone's opinion?
I definitely I love it to have this. I have an Apple Music account, so I use it right now. I'm using the streaming on the Tesla, which is okay. Like the one thing I don't like about it is like you put in you want to listen to a certain artist, and there's no option for listening to that artist. It's just like the artist's radio, so just that type of music, which is okay, but not the greatest. And I don't have Spotify, so because I have Apple Music, so I'm definitely excited for this one.
Yeah, are you talking about
who knows
Slacker?
when it's going to come? Yeah, Slacker.
Yeah. So, do you think it'll come with the holiday update?
I don't know, like 40.50 it was?
That's what this one is, yeah.
I think isn't the holiday update is usually 40 something or 42, isn't it? Or 44?
I don't
know. In that range.
Is there always a mandatory number that it is? I don't know. Anyways, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think it's if nothing else. Sorry, let's get your take on it, Franklin, and then I'll give you.
So I was trying to pull up numbers. I sent out a tweet about this a while ago. So Spotify is 33% of the market share. So 1 out of every 3 Tesla owners will have a Spotify account.
Still the leader, yeah.
Yeah, Apple Music is 17.8%. So when you add up the two, you're looking at close to 50% now is what they cover in market share. So I think it is a good move. They have to add like the next couple of big ones, and that basically will cover like 80% of the market, or 85 if they add like 2 more.
So you have a chart there with the percentages, the breakdown?
Yeah, I do, but I don't.
I'm curious to know, where is YouTube Music? Because in yesterday's group chats, a lot of people were saying, more than I actually thought, people were wishing for YouTube Music.
So YouTube Music has 10.1%.
Wow.
Amazon Music is 13.7%, and they're missing both of those. So that's like.
And where's Tidal in that?
Tidal does not make. Tidal's part of the 5.26% of other.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised when they got Tidal, because like no one has it really.
This is Tidal was. Tidal's there because of a personal connection Elon has, right?
Yeah.
But my point is like this is a step in the right direction because it covers a large percentage of their market share. I think they have to add literally they had like 2 or 3 other ones like the Amazon Music and YouTube Music. There's Tencent Music as well, which I imagine is really big in China. That's why the market share is so big. But they add those 3, and that's basically like 85% of the market, close to 90% of the market if they add 3 more services.
I didn't. You know what I learned from this today? That's interesting. I learned a little thing, which is good. It's good to learn a little bit of new stuff every day. If you think you know everything, you don't know everything. I didn't know Amazon is that high, 13%, eh?
Well, it's because it think about it. It comes with your Amazon Prime.
True.
Yeah, I wonder.
But I just didn't know how many people use it. Exactly. I've got Prime.
I've never used it either. It comes with a lot of stuff. It comes with like TV streaming, which I don't use enough. Music streaming. It used to have photo storage or video storage, but I don't know. They removed part of it.
They removed the video part of it, I think.
Okay.
Or they've capped the video. It's unlimited pictures, if I remember correctly, at least here in Canada. But I use it for my backup, especially after Google started charging for their Google Photo stuff. But anyways, I digress. It's just interesting to know. And YouTube is 10%. That's something I have that I don't use.
So I know YouTube specifically went from 50 million subscribers to 80 something million in the last year. Like
Wow.
they've gained a lot of ground in the last year alone.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the way they're going, keep in mind too, they also bundle with YouTube Premium, which gives you ad-free YouTube, and
Yeah.
YouTube's becoming more and more of a platform that's a TV replacement essentially, right? So
Oh,
people
yeah.
are saying, "Hey, why don't I replace my TV?" And at the same time, I'm also getting music, so it's kind of like a win-win situation, right?
Yeah.
So they offer good value. Amazon offers good value. Apple Music's obviously doing good value, and then Spotify's the leader. But I'm just saying, if they added Amazon Music and YouTube Music, like they cover almost the entire market share, minus the small ones, right? That are
Yeah. Well, I guess they're going in, well, like Dan said, with the exception of Tidal, because that was just a favor. With the exception of Tidal, it looks like they're going in order. So we should expect Amazon next.
well, I think, and they're saying it in the chat. I think the way Tesla's going about it is wrong. They should be doing it as an API to
Yeah,
allow. They should put the pressure on the companies to develop their music streaming services because there's an incentive for those companies because they get people to subscribe and use their services.
exactly.
Um,
The whole
so
reason they did it for Tidal, I guarantee you.
yeah, so like Tesla should just create an app store, an API for companies, and that's what they should focus on rather than saying, "Hey, we're going to integrate Apple Music." They should have said, "Hey, we're going to integrate a system now." Apple, Google, Amazon, uh, little Johnny in his basement who's creating his own music streaming service, go out and create your APIs uh, to create it on the Tesla.
Yeah, I wonder how it works. Like, do they have to be in talks with Apple, and like, do they have to pay a license, or does Apple pay that? Like, I'm curious to know how it works.
It depends on how it's implemented. So, like Netflix, for example, is just literally a web browser. There's no paying of anything. Um, just so, like YouTube, for example, Microsoft. Well, that was API licensing that they messed up with. So maybe it doesn't apply because Microsoft basically created a YouTube app for Microsoft Mobile OS at one point, and then Google basically said you guys broke our API policies. But I think that was slightly different.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think it's
Yeah, I
more
don't
of a
think
benefit
there's.
for the streaming service than Tesla.
Yeah, there's no licensing.
okay. Okay, good to know.
And Franklin, maybe you can answer this: is with Apple's music lossless, would that play in the Tesla?
Not sure.
Oh, Apple's like what did Apple use? FLAC or something?
Flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's outside my scope of knowledge.
Well, you know what? They did it for Tidal, right? So maybe they'll do the same kind of modeling system for Apple Music, where you have to actually download it to the car itself and have it in house.
Do you guys actively use Spotify?
Yeah, in the car, I use Spotify more than I use Slacker. Mind you, Slacker's not bad.
No, I mean like outside the car.
Oh, outside, my wife does, and my kids do, but no, I don't much. Now, I apologize to anyone that's listening to this, the audio podcast version on Spotify. I'm not saying don't continue to, because I do stream out to Spotify podcast.
No, the reason why I ask, and if people in the comments can chime in, I heard that the Tesla Spotify app isn't as good as the actual Spotify app.
Oh, it's you don't use it, frankly? You don't have an account? Is that why you're asking?
I used to, and I stopped.
Oh, well, no, it is bare bones. I mean, I've opened up the app on my phone, the Spotify app, and yeah, it's richer, more features, obviously, on the app than in the car.
Yeah.
In the car, it's really weird. It's weird. Tesla has a weird thing. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. You guys tell me. When I want to search for a song and I want to search for it in Spotify, what I do is I open up Spotify and I search there, as opposed to if I want to search for it in Slack, or if I want to search for it in Tidal. I'll open up the particular app and it'll give me search results. But if you scroll down near the bottom, then it'll give you other results for Slacker. I think Slacker seems to default after the actual app that you're in. Does that make any sense? Like, you guys have any issues when you're trying to search for particular artists or songs?
Yeah. and I had like BitJam dropped a comment down below, and he said it's really broken basically.
Yeah, they don't implement it well. They definitely don't.
This is where I was saying, like, if they left it to the developers, I feel like the developers would have more incentive to make sure it worked better.
Yeah, true. Like, think of all the stuff they have on their plate, right? I mean, yeah, they are bringing out new features and stuff like that, the software team or whoever's in charge of the new features. But you think they have time to, enrich and develop each individual part of the app for the software? Like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't think their team's big enough, or they've got that kind of attention to detail.
Okay, so there's another comment which was really interesting. I feel like we should cover this one.
What's that?
BitJam saying the Spotify seems to like it works. The website works while you're driving. So if you want to use like the website will have probably better user interface with more feature rich, and it will work while you're driving. And even the scroll wheels work. He said so.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I got to try that now. Huh.
Yeah.
Thanks, BitJam. Appreciate that.
That's
I
cool.
tried the Apple Music once on the website, and I couldn't get it to work.
Did you try it while you're parked?
No, I was driving.
Okay, so if you're parked, it will work. The minute you want to drive, it will fail.
Okay. So I wonder whether I can get Spotify to work.
I don't know.
Okay. Have we beaten that one to death? Can we move on to the next topic?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Let's move on. The next one we're going to talk about tonight is, this came up last week, I think last week or the week before. And it was a pretty big surprise or shock to probably the whole entire industry, EV industry. I know I was quite surprised. I haven't heard anyone yet say that, oh yeah, I knew this was coming. And if they do say I knew this was coming, they're lying. Now, I know some people said it should come, and I've heard some people say, oh yeah, I said 6 months ago or a year ago that they should do this, and they're taking credit for it, be it what it is. But I've never heard someone yet say, oh yeah, I knew it was coming. And what I'm talking about,
didn't Elon say it like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
That he was going to do this?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I could have told you, Dax, 5 months ago based off what Elon said.
Well, I never heard that at all. Tesla, what I'm talking about, what we're talking about, folks, I know I'm burying the lead and teasing everyone that's listening to the audio and doesn't have access to the video portion of this, so they don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about Tesla opening up their charging connections to all, and the new standard that they've made up. And the new standard for North America, at least, they're calling it NACS. Where is it here? I guess it's just basically North American Charging Standard is what they basically wanted to stand for. I mean, it's pretty easy, and it rolls off the tongue pretty good, NACS and ACS. So what they're saying, and because of this and how they had to, I guess, sell it to everyone, or trying to sell it, attempt to sell it, is that they're saying, what we learned from it is there's some information in there that we didn't even know, like the speeds, how it can go up to 1 megawatt. In terms, it has bidirectional charging, which we've never heard Tesla talk about. Actually, I thought, if anything, Tesla was against bidirectional charging because of their Powerwall and their solar. You'd think that they wouldn't want that, but they've got all these things in there, and it is the smarter way to go. And they, like I said, in their little blog when they came out, they had a side-by-side size comparison of the CCS Combo 1 adapter, or not adapter, but plug. That's the one they use here in North America. They compared it to the Tesla plug, and whether it's a supercharger or a universal mobile charger or the higher power wall charger, basically it's the same size plug. The superchargers are a little thicker around the handle, a tiny bit, but other than that, it's the same plug, and you can see the size difference. If you're watching at home on the video, you can see I've got it up on the screen right now. It's considerably smaller, which we all knew, right? We all knew, but they're trying to get this going. And what I heard from experts or people in the industry, people in the field, and then just regular Tesla people or regular EV people, I heard a lot of people say, you know what, this is a little bit too late. This is 2 or 3 years too late. Do you guys think that? Do you think it's too late?
Well, yeah, like there's so many cars out there that already have their connector ports, right? Like I went away a little while ago and I rented a Nissan Leaf, and it has 2 ports, one for this level 2 charging, one for level 3 charging. Like that doesn't make sense. Like, why do you need? So the port is like that big,
Yeah.
And it's like, and they had it was a CCS, and then some sort of like a level 2 that wasn't J1772. It was bigger. So it just makes total sense to go to this Tesla one because it's
they had
smaller. And
Chatamo probably, right?
no, it wasn't. This was for the level 2.
Oh, and it wasn't J1772.
No, it was a lot bigger. It was kind of the same size as a CCS, just round. But yeah, it just makes total sense to go to this Tesla one. It's just that why wasn't this done sooner, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt that they should have probably done it sooner. But I don't know if it's like what a lot of people are saying. It's too late. Like now, it's not going to take off. Or, yeah, don't get me wrong. I certainly think that the OEMs, the diehard stubborn OEMs, like the Fords. Mind you, Ford is actually, compared to the others, Ford isn't that bad. But let's just say Ford, GMs, the Volkswagen. You think they're going to go over to this? They'll go over kicking and screaming if they have to. If they find other people, other smaller manufacturers, and the startups. Like the startups it's probably perfect for the startups, like Aptera, how they've been wanting to do it anyways for a while, or that's what they're going to put on their cars, and like Rivians and Lucids and stuff like that. They would be this would be perfect for them to do it because they could do it easily. Yeah, the Fords, like the Mach-E's and the F-150s and the Nissans and VW, for them to do it now to retrofit all their other cars, yeah, it'd be a nightmare. Could they start now by going forward, say like 2023, 2024? Yeah, they could, but I don't know. I just don't see them being too enthused about it. But they can, and I think the big takeaway from this, or the big plus that may actually get this rolling, is that they're doing this with the third-party charging companies, the other private companies, not the OEMs, not the car manufacturers, but the charging companies. They say they already have some on board, or they're in talks, or there's stuff in the works with getting that done. I think was it EVgo down in the States?
Yeah.
I think they're about to do it, or they're going to do it. That's perfect. I think if anyone of them is going to start out doing it, I think it would be an EVgo or a charge point. Electrify America, I don't know if they would be too reluctant to do it anytime soon, but we'll see.
I think a charge point would be a really good starting point. The thing is I don't see this taking off. I hope I'm wrong, because I feel like we need one good standard.
We do.
You don't want to go. Like, could you imagine going to different gas stations? Like, all these different people have to go to different gas stations and be like, oh, what pump am I going to? I think that's the problem that we're running. And unfortunately, this is one of the downsides that I hear a lot that people talk about. They're like, oh, but there's this charger or that charger, and it gets really confusing.
Oh, it is.
It is confusing. So they need one standard, right? Can you go back up to the image though for a sec?
Yeah, I was just about to.
Yep. How, like, you're talking about the size? It is much smaller. How do you think it compares to Dan's rocket?
Pretty big.
Let me see. Let me get Dan's rocket here. Yeah. No, Dan. You know what? I think Dan's rocket is still smaller than the CCS.
Okay. Yeah.
And with that said, Dan's rocket is pretty big. And once again, I apologize to the people at home that are just listening to the audio version.
Dear God, please watch.
Dan, can you tell people what we're talking about when we?
It is a
Dan's rocket
model of the Apollo 11 or Saturn 5.
Saturn 5. Yeah, and it's good size. It's what, about 30 inches, 36 inches?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, it's a good size. Is it Lego?
It is Lego. Me and my son built it.
So you can't pick it up; it'll fall apart, right? You don't want to touch it.
No, so pick it up.
No. I don't.
And also, the stages come apart. It's all
Oh
good.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to pick up because I would be devastated to watch a grown man cry live on
Yeah, you don't want that.
online. Yeah,
Yeah.
if it broke. Okay, let me get you off from full screen because I know you guys don't like that. Yeah, so I don't know. I wanted to, of course, like Franklin saying, I want a standard. They have one in Europe. They need one here in North America. I mean, exactly. What Franklin said, I heard somebody say that last week, that same analogy. Can you imagine if for the last, 40, 50 years, we were going to different gas stations depending on what car we had to fill up, and we couldn't fill up at this gas station because a nozzle was, oval, and then we needed a round nozzle or a triangular nozzle. Can you imagine that? Like it's asinine. We have to get to a standard.
To give you an idea, like there's some chargers that are not Tesla based that are in really, really convenient locations. Unfortunately, I can't plug my car into them. So
without an adapter.
Without an adapter, well, my car can't even support the adapter right now, but because it's the old Model 3. But my point is like, if I could, it's like, wow, that's more convenient for me because it's like in the parking lot of a place I'd want to go to anywhere. I want to go shop there, and it benefits the store too because I'm like probably going to go back to that location, right? So it makes a lot of sense. When they have a standard, I feel like it'll help expedite everything quicker. Unfortunately, I'm going to say this, I feel like a lot of the manufacturers and the overall market share is still really tiny. So people saying it's too late, I think it's not, because it's like the EV market share is tiny.
Yeah.
So they can switch easily. But the thing is I think, like you're saying, Dax, a lot of the manufacturers are going to be stuck in their ways saying CCS is our standard. We're sticking with CCS. And whether it's better or not, I feel like that's probably going to be the standard going forward because of stubbornness, essentially.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, is it because will their lack of, or their resistance to change be because of their pre-existing infrastructure, or what I think, is it because their resentment to Tesla?
Well, do we know if there's a fee that's involved?
No, I don't know. I wish I had Darren here. Darren would know more about this. I know that they've opened their patents. One big thing about this is now they've opened it up and they're allowing other companies to do it. Whereas before, they said they had open, what was the term that they had?
Like an open patent agreement.
Open end, but apparently what I learned last week, that there was in there, which I didn't know about, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't know, when they were saying that for all these years, oh yeah, you guys can use our superchargers and all that, there was some agreement that they had, manufacturers had to open their patents in order to do it, and that's why now it makes sense. That's why nobody even bit at that, and everyone's like, screw that, I'm not doing that. Now they've taken that off the table, apparently.
Well, you got to have a really good patent portfolio for other companies to say, hey, we want to jump in on that. But that system does work where you say, hey, I'm going to open source my patents, as long as everyone else kind of gives in their patents. Google does it with Android. So Google's patents are in there, and then you have like Samsung that added, and then like I think there's 50 to 100 companies that have joined this patent alliance thing, where you can basically use all the different patents from all these different companies. So I think that's basically what Tesla was trying to do. It just their patent portfolio wasn't large enough to entice other people, and then having CCS basically like super easy to add to your cars, it just kind of became the standard.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of superchargers, like, wouldn't that be an incentive for these other manufacturers to have a Tesla connector? Because then give them easy access to the supercharger network.
Yeah, they can use, exactly. They can use that as a selling point to their future customers. It's like, look, now we don't have to, because as we can see, other than Electrify America, only because they were forced to, because of the Dieselgate, no other company, Rivian says they're supposed to be doing it, Ford says they're supposed to be doing it, but no other company is doing it like Tesla, where they're making their own charging infrastructure for their customers. They're saying, here's the keys, thanks for your purchase of your car, just use the public network. Now they could say, Now they could sell it as this is you got like Tesla. You can go to Tesla where they're already mapped out. They're covering all around the world, all across North America. Like that's a great selling feature. I don't know why they wouldn't want to do that. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, this is all going to boil down to stubbornness.
Do you think so? If you're another audio, like, doesn't this kind of hurt Tesla in a way?
In terms of losing their one good asset, not losing, but like sharing their asset as opposed to like.
Oh
Yeah, they're giving up a huge, like, one of the biggest advantages Tesla has right now is their charging network.
Yeah.
So by doing this, and if you have like other manufacturers being able to use your network, I mean, they're going to be paying for the charging, sure, but some of the chargers are already backlogged as is. They got to expand them a little faster.
Well, that came up a few months ago, and Elon had said, "Listen, it's the right thing to do. It may not be the best thing to do, but it's the right thing
for
to
the
do."
mission.
Yeah, and that's why he wants it. He's taking the moral road, the higher ground, and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, when they were talked about it, when it happened in Europe and stuff, there was a lot of backlash. I know a lot of my friends in my little community of Tesla here in Ontario. I know a lot of people that said, "No, I don't want other people using the superchargers."
Do you think
this could also be the timing of it, right? Because they opened up the superchargers in Europe and know it kind of works. So that's could be why they're doing it now, opening up that standard, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the price increase plays a factor in all this? Because they've really upped the prices. It's way higher than I can go charge with other chargers for cheaper.
Yeah, no, I think that's a factor of it too. I read last week when I was reading the comments when this news broke. Some people were saying that there's some government incentives if Tesla does this from the U.S. government for that whole new EV plan that's rolling out January 1st in the U.S. So I'm not in the U.S., so I don't know. Apparently there is one, and people are, I guess, being cynical and saying, the only reason Tesla's doing this is so they can get federal money. Maybe they are. Who knows? It could be. I mean, Tesla's pretty smart with their business strategies and money, so it very well could be that's doing it. Raymond just asked here, isn't the standard able to do 1,000? Are you talking about the CCS standard, Raymond, or are you talking about Tesla? Because Tesla came out and did say their chargers or their cords and plugs are able to do 1,000. I'm not sure with CCS if they're can do 1,000, like a gigawatt. I don't know if their architecture on the combo one can do that, unless you guys don't.
You're speaking a different language to me.
Google.
Yeah, but this is like, let's see what happens. I mean, I really hope it's not going to take off tomorrow. Like, it's not going to be like overnight type of thing, but let's give it a couple years and see what happens. I think if it'll just take that one brave OEM to do it, and then you'll see others like, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe we'll or they'll say, okay, let's say Nissan decides to do it. And I'm not saying they will, but just for argument's
sake, you heard it here first, folks. Go no,
just saying. Okay, let's say Nissan does it. So you think Ford and GM and Stellantis, they'll all stand back and say, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with them. We don't want to be the first, but someone's actually doing it. Let's study them and see what happens. Because nobody wants to be the first, right? Everyone wants to see what everyone else is going to do.
Yeah, it'll take one, and then it'll go from there.
Yeah, hopefully. And like I said, I think a big key with this, a key feature is the public charging private companies. Okay, we've beaten that one to death. Let me see what else we got here. Open chargers. No, we're going to take that one off. Oh, this will be a favorite of your guys. You guys will like this one a lot, I can tell you right now. Next topic coming up is FSD Beta 11, the single stack, this one stack to rule them all, whatever you want to say there. I want to talk about this, not so much because this isn't really widespread, but what I also want to talk about is what really hits home here in Canada, and even more specific here in Ontario, and even more specific here in Toronto, as we just narrow it down even more. What we found out today, and it turned into breaking news, and I don't have the article up here if you're watching at home, but Drive Tesla Canada did do an article. I didn't link to it here. But in V11, there is now. Well, you know what, Franklin? Maybe you should go back if you don't mind. I know I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit. Go back and tell the people the history of this whole geofence.
Essentially, when the so the FSD beta was in Toronto and there was no geofence, and then it was released to customers. And downtown Toronto had a geofence, so essentially there's a cutoff area, and it was the only location in all of North America that had this restriction, where if you drove into it, it was a real pain. It basically shut off autopilot and shut off beta for a long period of time. It would literally just like the freak out at you, be like, take over the wheel.
How'd that go again?
Just listen.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
not
that's
the one
exactly
who
what it
made
sounds
this.
like.
Yeah,
that was uncanny how accurate you were there.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm not here making the sounds for the.
I almost just grabbed my steering wheel in front of me.
Thank God you don't make the sounds.
I thought you were gonna grab your rocket, Dan.
Don't grab your rocket, Dan.
But-
okay, but tell Franklin why is the geofence? What was the
Oh
issue?
yeah, so sorry, I was getting to it.
Sorry.
So essentially,
I'm
the
rushing you.
reason why they geofenced it is we have a very dumb public transit system where
Thank you.
it's true.
It is.
No, it is true. It is so true. I'm thanking you for somebody having the balls in our society today to call it out. It's antiquated and it's archaic.
So essentially, it's like a streetcar, a subway that's on a line.
No, it is a
And-
streetcar.
It's a streetcar, yeah, it's a streetcar. Well, it's on a line, so I don't know. You can see it either
It's
way.
on tracks. It's on tracks.
It's on a track, so I don't know. Anyway, it's a streetcar that drives, and then it will pull over in the middle of the road, and the pedestrians get off into traffic.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because they have to. It's on rails, so they can't pull over to the side. They have to stop.
yeah, and it's okay. So it's challenging for a human to know when to stop, not to kill somebody, let alone a car. That's yeah. So it took them a while, and it's open now. I don't know if it actually interacts with the streetcars properly. Like, do you guys know if it will break?
Well, you're the one that needs to go and test it.
I'll go test it in the next couple of days.
Yeah, because for people at home that aren't familiar with Toronto and the streetcar system, they have when it comes to stop, the lights flash almost like a school bus, but not like a school bus, so to speak. But the door is open on the right-hand side to let the people out, and when they let them out, they're letting them off, like Franklin's saying, in a live lane of traffic, usually the curb lane. But when the doors open up, the doors have lights on it that flash, and they have little mini stop signs on the doors that say stop. And by law in Ontario, under the Highway Traffic Act, you're supposed to stop.
Keyword is supposed to.
Supposed to. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Supposed to. It's a big fine, actually. Apparently, it's a big fine. So I've been told that if you don't stop, you can get.
I went to
nailed.
Detroit recently, and they just put in streetcars. I was like, "What are they doing? These are stupid." But they put them on the right lane, like the curb lane, and it's genius because like traffic can go right ahead on the left,
Exactly. And when passengers get out, they get out on the sidewalk, right?
on the curb.
Oh
On the
my
sidewalk.
God.
So
How do they manage that? That's ingenious. They must have some kind of special magic.
the best way to explain it, if you ever want to play like a real game of Frogger, come to
That's
Toronto.
Well, that's why I put a tweet out on Twitter tonight, and I put this little. And I know people are gonna say, I haven't checked my Twitter yet. People are gonna say that footage is not Toronto, that's Montreal. I get it, it's Montreal, and it's not. It's actually just cars sliding each other. It's like chaos. And I just said, the geofence has been removed here in Toronto, and let's see what happens. It's like game on now, right? It's like because you know what, I just know the way Toronto people drive. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, like I said, I'll go test it out in the next couple of days at some point.
Okay, I'll come with you.
Well, I think it will stop for pedestrians because we all know how cautious they are around pedestrians. Is this whether it will slow down as that streetcar is slowing down and the door is opening? Like, will it recognize
Because
that?
aren't you supposed to stop behind? You're supposed to stop behind the streetcar.
Oh yeah, you can't stop
Yeah.
beside it.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but
you might get stuck behind it because there's
No,
like
well,
there's
that's-
2 doors and there's like 5 car lanes apart from each other.
No, but that's what I'm saying, Dan. Like, it's not going to hit the pedestrian, but it's going to probably go up too far than it should be.
Yeah, or it'll be what I think is going to happen. Why and yeah, I don't think it's going to hit someone. I think Tesla's smarter than that. And they're gonna what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna nerf it so much that it's gonna be ultra cautious, and you're just gonna get honked at from behind. It's just gonna. I don't know. Well, I could be wrong. I hope the Tesla proves me wrong. They've had a few months to work on this internally, so.
On the whole V11 discussion, you guys excited? Because I'm not.
Well, you know what? And that's, we sort of hijacked this whole topic of V11 announcement or release into the streetcar thing for Toronto. But getting back to that, I've actually I've watched obviously Chris from Dirty Tesla and Chuck from Chuck Cook stuff. And you know what? They're saying it's really good.
Are they on V11 now?
Yeah. What's the number, Franklin? It's 69,431 or something like that. I guess I'm actually.
I don't know it off the top of my head. I have the latest. I have the latest version. The one that
you have it though.
Yeah, to very few people.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know. I still experience problems.
Oh, but I don't think that's the full stack though. I don't think it's out yet.
No, it's not the full stack yet.
Yeah.
The one you have isn't a full stack?
No.
So who has the full stack?
It's not out yet.
No one.
Yeah.
I thought somebody had the full stack.
So I don't look forward to the full stack, and I'll tell you why. I love navigation on autopilot. It works well. FSD beta does not work well. They're going to put the FSD beta on the highway, and they're going to remove something that works well with something that I don't know how well it's going to work.
Oh, you think it's going to get ruined?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a lot of steps back before it gets back up to parity.
You may be right. Yeah, you may be right.
Well, I'll be the optimistic here, and I'm excited for it because if it means that I don't have to manually acknowledge a lane change, that would be a life changer. Because that's the one pet peeve I have on the highways is that you still have to acknowledge your lane changes. So
what are you talking about? The menu says you don't have to. I'm joking.
Franklin,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do you still have Starlink?
No.
No? Okay. Because a viewer in the chat here is saying your audio is not. I haven't noticed it, but I wasn't paying attention. But as you keep talking, I'll monitor it a little more.
I believe I corrected it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Say something?
Hello, Dax.
Okay, it's I see it now. It's a little off, but that's fine. I mean, It's not super bad, but that person must be really paying attention to your mouth.
Yeah. I don't know who it is. So
just don't. You know what? Don't look at Franklin's mouth. Just look at Dan's rocket.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Fix your eyes on Dan's rocket. It's a lot more interesting.
I agree, Raymond. I think it's too much for what you get. Just gonna throw it out there.
Oh, it is. It is. And they're talking about it just tonight. And one of the things I was listening to, that when the merge or the what would you guys call it? The full stack or the single stack? The stack. When it does, because I thought it was out, but I guess you're right, it isn't. When that does come out, Elon did say that the price may change.
Oh, come on!
But that's what somebody was saying. It's like, really, can you actually see it going any higher? But you know what? We said that when it was $10,000, did we not?
So it's not worth $10,000. It's not worth $6,000.
Yeah.
No.
The rate of progress. So you get a lot of people that basically are trying to hype it up more than what it is, but the rate of progress hasn't increased substantially. You got to remember, if you want it to be full self-driving, which is, people have different opinions on what full self-driving is, which is bizarre to me. Full self-driving isn't you're sitting there monitoring the wheel. Full self-driving is I don't even have to be in the car, and the car can be driving around. For them to get to that, the number of disengagements they have to have per thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles or kilometers is crazy, and they're nowhere near that. And they were nowhere near the long tail problems yet. They're still experiencing problems with everyday driving occurrence things, and the rate of progress isn't very quick. Some of the stuff, like the high occupancy network stuff that people are touting, and they're basically repeating back what Tesla said in their conference, isn't a magical one-step fix-all for everything. So Dan's rocket and Franklin's mouse should not be in the same sentence. So yeah, it's just like when you start looking at it all, like they're charging too much for a promise of something that's not happening anytime soon. Just to add like something to think about. Elon tweeted out in 2018 that Tesla was. I'll move to the center. So Tesla was, like going to achieve FSD, and they had all these different stacks, and they doubled down with their stacks in 2019 and 2020. Why all of a sudden is the single stack like the one all be all?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess internally they must have come to that conclusion.
I'm not saying it's a wrong move. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Don't base your thoughts just solely on optimism.
Yeah.
Will they get more data out of going to a single stack since they're getting a lot more mileage out of it?
They get the same amount of data.
Yeah.
Even people that aren't driving with the beta, they're still getting data from them. So, or could be. They're not technically receiving it all.
Really?
They only take out the data that they need, which is like a subset of whatever they want, whatever they're looking for.
Will this stack also have Smart Summon, or is that coming soon?
That wasn't part of the release notes, like the real Smart Summon, right?
Yeah, like they were going to put everything on the same stack.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I don't remember it being in the release notes.
Well, speaking of which, I was listening to another podcast show, a much better one than this one, called Ride Lightning with Ryan McCaffrey, and he was talking about that actually the advanced. I think they call it Advanced Smart Summon, and you know what the acronym for that is, right? And Elon, I guess on Twitter last week, had said that he's going to try to get that out by the end of the year or early next year. I can't remember what he said. So of course that's a long time, right? So we're looking at next year, but apparently it's supposed to be better. They've got developers or software guys working on it, and it's supposed to be better than what we have now.
Well, anything's better than what we have now.
Exactly. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, like it doesn't.
Since May.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore, right, Dan? You get an error.
I haven't used it since May.
It's not that I don't want to use it. I can't use it. It doesn't function.
See, so why would people be buying enhanced autopilot? Like, I don't get that, because that and the Navigate on Autopilot highway would be the main reason to get it. I mean,
well, it's the only thing that works well.
Yeah.
Well, you get like an error message that pops up and it says cannot summon. Your windows are not clear. My windows are like my car can be spotless.
I get my vision is degraded.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, visions. Yeah. Like I know it is in real life, but my car is fine.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. As A-Kid says in the chat, ass should have been out ages ago.
That's Gary, by the way.
I know it's Gary. We don't have to use his name. He obviously went to the trouble to not put his name in there, and you just outed him.
Well, that's fine.
I'm just kidding. Okay, let's move on. Next topic. Was this the next topic? Oh no, this was not the next topic. But okay, well that's fine. We'll talk about it. This is interesting, and we don't have to spend too much time on this. But GM, and in the article here by Drive Test, kind of uses the word claims because we have no proof of it, and that's probably very accurate. It says they claim to have serviced over 11,000 Tesla vehicles this year. Or actually, I don't even know if it was this year or last year. But anyways, that's interesting. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like,
well, it depends what they're doing. Are they changing tires? Is that what they're doing? Like just putting summer and winter tires on?
Well,
or rotating?
See, this is an article. I think it doesn't say. All they're saying is that it's a growing business for us.
Yeah, I don't think they're touching anything else in the car, so it's got to be just like simple stuff like that, right?
Or brake jobs, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. I could see it being a good thing, and which is a good thing for the customer because our service centers here in North America can't keep up with the amount of cars that have inundated the market in the past 2 years compared to the amount of service centers we have, even though we have the mobile stuff. So it's good for that for the customer's point of view. But if GM is saying this in a almost like a slap in the face to Tesla, like in terms of their reliability, then it could be taken the wrong way. And it all depends on how it's being portrayed, or it all depends on what the average person that maybe is not a Tesla owner or is into Tesla like we are sees this article in a mainstream media, and they're like, oh, like what do you think when the normal average Joe sees that? Do they think, oh, good, Teslas must be so busy that they can't keep up? Or do you think that they see it as Tesla vehicles always need to be repaired?
Both.
Yeah, I can take it for both. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that's good. If it's both, that's fine. That's even and it's balanced. But I don't know. I hope it's not, the negative where, oh, Tesla vehicles, because we already have that out there. We already have that opinion and reputation that Tesla vehicles are to the average person that doesn't know, that just reads an anti-Tesla FUD article that Tesla vehicles are garbage or this and that, and they believe it. I talk to friends and family and coworkers that come up to me every now and then because they know I'm into Tesla, and they'll say, oh, I heard this, I heard that. Actually, speaking of which, what the thing I'm hearing the most of in the last probably, and I don't know why, 2 or 3 weeks. Oh no, not recalls. No, actually, no, not recalls. I should be. That you're right. I should actually be hearing that, but no, I'm hearing a lot of people, friends and family and coworkers say, talk about the Cybertruck. Like, oh, I heard that truck got killed. They're not doing that anymore, or they're not going to make it anymore. Like a lot of the general public really bought into that narrative that they were trying to spread, that it was just vaporware and it's never coming out. I guess technically it is vaporware right now, but until it comes out.
You should tell them to go to Drive Tesla Canada. It's the most reliable website for Tesla information. Seriously, it is.
It is.
I really believe so. They're the ones who properly cite information, which is important.
That's true. And I'm not. This isn't a podcast to blow sunshine up.
Our friend.
Our friend. Yeah, I was going to say, let it be known, all transparency, full transparency. Darren is a friend of ours, and it's Darren's website. But that in of itself, and that aside, it truly is. I'm hearing. I listen to a lot of podcasts during the week and Tesla related stuff, and even EV related stuff, and I'm hearing a lot more, and probably in the last 6 months, a lot more people when they're doing articles and stuff like that are referring back to, or when I watch YouTube videos and they put up a screenshot of an article, I'm finding it a lot more of Drive Tesla Canada. Like a lot. Like Darren's just exploded, which is good. I'm happy for him, and I'm not happy for him just because he's a friend of ours, but I'm happy for him because he's like Franklin said, he's well balanced, and we actually get a responsible reporting.
It's not just him. Like, I want to be clear. Like the article you have up here, it's by a gentleman named Scott. There's been articles. His whole team. Like, there's been articles, me included. I'm part of the team. There's been articles. For one of the comments, Franklin, you need to write more than 3 articles a year, please. There's like one article, and I went to a couple of mainstream media sources, and then I went to a couple of like Tesla blogger websites, because that's what I'm going to call them. They're not journalists, in my opinion. And you literally get half the information on one, half the information on the other, and neither of the two source the original information. And then you go on Drive Tesla Canada, and it's like all there, and it's great, and you can see the original, and you can see where all it came from. And it was one of Darren's team members that wrote it, and I don't know, I like that. So I think that's important. Hold on one second, I got to clean something.
Yeah, you're not monitoring the chat there, Franklin.
No, you have access to that, Franklin?
I took care of it.
Okay, because I was just, as you were talking, I was just going in. So okay,
see what happens with all the rocket talk?
Well, no, you know what? This is good. This actually answers my question because this and anyone listening at home that doesn't know what we're talking about. Last episode of the podcast we had last month, I was doing it solo by myself, and I got a handful in the chat. It's it's you can't do anything about it. We got these like how would you put it, like X-rated, adult only
The porno spam.
accounts that came in and spammed the chat group and just left a lot of comments about having a good
They're,
time and stuff like that. And I
Twitter
think they're
spam
bots. And they're
Twitter
bots,
spam
right?
bots. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll be honest, guys. I have you here now, so I can tell you. I know I alluded to it a little bit there, but now I have you face to face. I can tell you. I actually thought it was you bastards that were doing it.
No.
But now that I see you both here, not to say you still couldn't as you're talking. I mean, I know you guys are very resourceful.
Well, Franklin has multiple accounts.
I was gonna say multitasking and stuff like that.
And I have like another computer up here.
You probably have 6 computers in front of you if I know you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But no, all jokes aside. So yeah, so you're able to take care of it because it's still showing on my end here.
No, so what I did is I hit it and then banned them. So it's hidden. No one can see it. It should be gone.
Okay, but we still see it, I guess, on our end.
Well, you should, but Dan shouldn't.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Let's move on. Is this the same one I
It's
had?
okay.
On?
No reason to crash the podcast.
No. Okay, Steve says it's gone. Crash the podcast. Now, the next topic I'm going to talk about, it's a little sensitive, and I want to just give a quick disclaimer before we talk about it. In no way are we trying to disrespect the people that lost lives in this next article. I'm not using this to what's the word I'm looking for? I exploit. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm not trying to exploit anything that happened here. I think it needs to be talked about. It's a serious thing, and what I am talking about is there was some deadly crash in China that happened a couple weeks ago with a Model Y, and you may have seen, you may not have. I'm not going to play the video for copyright reasons, but also for sensitivity reasons too. It's sensitive. But in a nutshell, I'll give you a quick description. It's alleged that there was a driver in a Tesla Model Y in China that says that they had no brake pedal. Not that they didn't have a physical brake. Their brakes failed, and the accelerator was stuck, and it went at a high rate of speed, out of control. And you can see it. And it's what I found very interesting. And like I said, I'm trying to be sensitive. I'm not trying to disrespect the people that lost their lives or the family members that had lost their lives. But it was very interesting to see the amount of cameras in China. I know, I get it. It's 2022, but the amount of cameras that picked up this car as it drove, I'm sure in the article it says, I don't know, but it went a good distance. All these cameras picked up the car, and it was like a rocket. Once again, I'm trying to be sensitive, and I don't want to be too light of it to say rocket. And I know we were joking about rockets earlier, but maybe it's a bad choice of words. But it was going fast when it actually stopped and impacted and killed some people. So, anyways.
It says Tesla's working, fully cooperating with the authorities in China, which any company doing business in China gives their data to the Chinese government. So obviously they're cooperating.
They have to. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get much of a choice. Pretty much, yeah. If you're doing business there, the Chinese government gets access to everything. It's just how it is.
Yeah. So. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It was a 55-year-old driver, male driver, and reportedly said the brake pedal could not stop the vehicle, and the initial preliminary investigation is they're saying that it was reaching speeds of 124 miles an hour, which is about 200 kilometers. It, like I said in the video, it was going fast, and that is it's a tragic and a horrible accident. I hope they get to the bottom of it.
So
I think I know what happened. I mean, sorry, I don't want to come across like a know-it-all. I certainly don't want to do that. But from the looks of it and from what I've seen, and I'm no expert and I don't have access to the data, so maybe I should just you know I'm not going to comment.
so you said something which is the number of cameras that picked it up, and this is like really fascinating. I just want to add it in because I looked this up a few months ago, and I just thought it was a really neat thing. So the number of CCTV cameras per 10,000 people in China is 10,343.
More cameras than people.
Correct. Yes.
And we know China has a lot of people to begin with.
Yeah.
Wow.
So by comparison, I think that's only major cities. Don't quote me on the numbers. I'm just Googled it real quick again. I just remember they're like leading by a landslide. They're like more than 5 times the next highest, which is the U.S. and then you have like UK, Singapore, and all that. But so yeah, it makes sense that they pick it up with a ton of cameras, right?
Yeah, and you're saying major city. I'll tell you a little story that I found very interesting, fascinating. Like you said, a few years ago, I had this coworker, his Chinese coworker. We were talking some conversation, and then I'm getting back in China where he's from, and he kept referring to where he's from as a village, and he kept saying village, and we're like, really, village? And then one of my buddies, because there was a group of us, one of my buddies stopped him and said, what do you mean by village? Like, were you born in, or are you from like a small little? Because when most of us hear village, I don't know, I think of like a village, right? Apparently, what he considered a village, and I guess that's just a translation to it, was the population. We asked him what the population was. It was over 30 million.
What?
His village? Listen, his village had a subway system that paled the Toronto transit system, like, which doesn't take much, but it was he had skyscrapers, but he calls it a village. That just goes to show you the sheer population of China, though, right?
Well, the whole subway thing. I find some of the stuff that they do is so fascinating. We're going on a crazy tangent, but I saw this just yesterday where they want to put a subway system. They don't want to disrupt traffic, so they don't want to like ruin the roads. So they did a subway system through an apartment building or like an apartment complex, or what we would deem an apartment complex. So they took right through. So they took a floor and they reconstructed it as a subway stop, and the people there love it because they have access to a subway now in their building, and their prices of their place skyrocketed. And
it's not their place though.
Well,
the government's place.
You know what I mean, right?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And they're happy, and apparently it doesn't make a lot of noise, and it's like fully electric.
What about the noise?
Yeah, it's fully electric apparently, and it doesn't make a lot of noise. And they just did it right through the building. They're like, we're not going to disrupt anything else. Let's just do it right through the building.
And they probably did it in a week.
Yeah, when they built all those hospitals for COVID, it was like 4 weeks, a whole hospital.
Yeah, it's the speed of how they do things there.
But yeah, a small village is almost the population of Canada.
Cool. It was nuts. It was nuts. Okay, and don't quote me on those numbers, but you get the point. Like, it's the sheer population of the country in itself. Okay,
Dax, do you still have your glass with you?
My glass?
What were you drinking out of?
Oh, it's the can itself.
You got to upgrade.
I know I should upgrade, and Mr. Tangent Boy here, I should upgrade. But would I upgrade to this? What we're talking about is our very last topic, and it's not even a topic. I just threw this in here for fun. Yeah, fun. But
sorry. One of the comments: wake up late, no problem. Catch a subway. LOL. Floor 13.
Yeah, can you imagine, Steve? This last topic. Or just article I want to talk about. Drive Tesla Canada talks about last week Tesla released these sipping glasses, and they added it to their online shop. And if you haven't seen it, go online or pull up the video version of this podcast, and you'll see they're okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It's the same base from the tequila bottles, right? So they probably had these extra bases around and said, what are we going to do with these? And they said, let's take the tequila bottle, slash it 2/3 of it off and just keep the bottom part where it balances and on the base, and we'll turn it into a shot. I guess these are like sipping. They call them sipping glasses. I thought it was a shot glass.
Shot glass. Yeah,
Is it a shot glass?
It's the size of a shot glass. It's 1.5
so it's
ounce.
tiny then.
Tiny. 150.
I thought it was like a glass where you can put ice in it, and
No,
it's a sipping
no.
glass like that. Oh, okay.
It's shot glass.
Oh my God. It's okay. So maybe these aren't the same bases because those bases must be small.
No,
then.
they are. They're same base. Same base.
Are they? Oh, you're right. Glasses can hold 1.5 ounces, and they're 3.5 feet tall. You're absolutely right. Sorry, Dan, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of them. And wait for it. Drum roll, Franklin. Drum roll, please. They sorry for any headphone users. They are $105 here in Canada, or 75 US. Now, should I be shocked of the prices?
Absolutely not.
No, I shouldn't. When they had the whistle was $50 and a belt buckle was whatever. No, I shouldn't. Do we still have Gary?
They have a really.
He's in the chat. He's trying to sell one 105 plus 13% tax Canadian. I said I'll give him $5 plus 13%.
And $40 shipping and commission.
He said he got fooled. He actually just got his, by the way. Like he received it 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
he
did?
He said it higher up in the chat. He said he just received it tonight.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Yeah. So Gary, you got fooled because you didn't realize, like me, that they're so small, or with all the added costs. I wonder what he means. So I'll wait for him to. If
where's the burnt hair? The burnt hair's coming.
Oh, this came before the burnt hair?
No. Well, this came out.
This came out after. So yeah, the burnt hair was just taking orders.
Yeah, but they took the tequila bottles and just chopped them off. So.
Yeah. Well, what they also came out, and I don't have an article about this, or I don't have it up on the screen, a couple days afterwards, or a few days afterwards, is the leather backpacks. They call them the mega packs or something like that. And obviously,
$300.
Play on words. $300. I saw pictures of it. They're very nice, and I need another backpack, and I contemplated it, and then I looked at the price. And you guys ever seen that meme that's online of that guy shopping, and he picks up this one thing and he looks at the price tag and he almost flies back like that? That's exactly how it was for me when I saw the price of 300 and something, but 335 here in Canada and 245 American. And then it came in 2 different sizes. There's a big backpack, like our normal size, then there's a smaller one. The smaller one's too small. I don't know what anyone would do with that. But these are, if you look at the picture of the backpacks, it's pretty cool because I think it's the same leather that someone said, at least. I don't know how true it is. Someone said it's the same leather that they make for the seats for the Teslas, the vegan leather. So if it is, that's pretty cool. It'll be pretty sturdy. And it comes in white and it comes in black. Why anyone would get a white backpack is beyond me, because that'll get dirty so quickly. But you know what? Some people say why anyone would get a white interior car. It might be beyond them too. So who knows?
Well, if it's the same material, it'll clean quick, no?
Yeah, you think so? Yeah.
They also came out with a plaid mug, which looks really nice, but it's
yes, that too.
And then my buddy wanted to get one. It was $40 plus $15 shipping, so paying $55 for a mug. But it's really nice.
Is that American or Canadian?
Canadian.
Oh, the shipping's not included in the prices?
No. I think you have to get to a certain amount. I think it's like $80 some or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So buy multiple mugs.
Yeah.
Split the shipping. Okay. You guys have anything you want to talk about? Topic wise, we'll get to the stories in a second. If
there's any topics they want us to cover in the chat, just like drop it in real quick.
Yeah, or any questions? Ask now or forever hold your peace.
Hold on, let me scroll back.
You guys want to talk about Twitter while we wait?
No, we don't. Nope.
I did a whole thing talking about Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to, like I said, I should have said this at the beginning. And if you're just joining us now, we said at the beginning the disclaimer: we're not going to talk about Twitter. But what I should have said is Franklin did a podcast on his other channel. Maybe he doesn't want people to know, but it's too late now because I'm talking about it. Where he talks about the Twitter debacle. I mean,
Raymond. Yeah, Raymond asked last topic already. No parking sensor topic.
What time? What time was it? Does it say a timestamp? I can look for it.
No, I don't get a timestamp.
Damn it.
It's not that far up. Like, just look for my beautiful name, and it's right above the last thing I said.
Raymond?
Yeah. Last topic ready. No parking sensor topic.
I can't find it, but I found this.
Yeah, she is coming to Canada tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Oh,
Yeah. So we're doing a large meetup on Friday with all sorts of people in the Tesla community, and she gets to meet all the people she's been talking to.
oh, that sounds like fun. How
Yeah.
how do you get an invite to that? Or is it private?
It's a private invite. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Private
okay,
event.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me know how that goes then.
Yeah.
Thing I wasn't invited, you son of a.
Well, there was a height restriction. No, you're invited.
Oh, you know I'm coming, right?
That's low.
You know I'm coming, right?
I know.
Okay, it's table for 4, right? I'm bringing my whole family.
Go more the merrier.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you want to. Feel free. Like seriously.
No, well, when you told me that you invited me, you told me you're paying for me. I said to the wife, I said, you know what we're doing for Friday night dinner with the kids. So yeah, we're coming for sure. Never pass up a free dinner.
That's great. I know Dan was nice enough to say, hey, you know, she's coming. I'm going to cover everyone who shows up for you. Just tell him you got him. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Thanks, Dan. He's like, you take the credit.
Well, I thought you guys were, because I have to work, so I thought you guys were taking my kids and babysitting.
We'll pick them up. Dax, make it happen. Purchase of Tesla Bluetooth TPS from eBay or Kijiji. Do you have any experience with the purchase of Tesla Bluetooth TPS from eBay or Kijiji? For people that don't know what Kijiji is, it's owned by eBay, but it's like a local marketplace thing. Tesla guy tells me many calls for failed TPS customers bought online exact Tesla-looking sensors. So by the signs of it, there's
yeah, it's going to be, Andy. It's going to be obviously buyer beware. There are a market for them. At one point last year at this time, Tesla was the only game in town, and you had to buy their own at $95 a sensor. So with tax in Canada here, it was over $400 for the set. And I know a lot of people didn't want to do that, and a lot of people went without sensors. You know, to each their own. I can't tell people what to do, but in my opinion, you just spend $80,000, $90,000 for a car. The safety aspect of it, and I was discussing this with one of the posts in my Facebook group. The safety factor of it, I think, is a huge factor. In my opinion, I'm all about safety and public safety, and to save yourself $300-400 just because you want to save that money and you don't care about safety. I'm talking your safety, but also the safety of the general public too. I mean, I'll get off my lecture here, but go get it. I haven't heard of ones failing.
sounds like they're fake ones that are basically being sold really cheap.
Yeah, if you're getting like 4 for $100, then you're probably getting fake ones.
Yeah, exactly. You get what you pay for, right? Not saying that it's worth $400 what Tesla's charging, but
well, he's also, Andy just added some context. He said Tesla service guy says buy only from Tesla,
well,
but they will warranty them.
Of
I
course
mean, yeah, it's in their benefit to say buy from us.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
I have so much to say about this, but I can't talk about it. Okay, we'll just drop that one, Andy. I wish I could answer. I wish I had a solution for you or an answer for you here on the podcast, but I don't, unfortunately.
To answer one of the other questions above, we covered Apple Music at the start of the podcast. If you go back and listen early on.
Yeah, just rewind, Andy.
Yeah, just want to. Yeah. No, it wasn't Andy. It was. Yeah.
Oh, further up. Okay.
Just to go back to Andy's question, I've seen a couple times on some like the Facebook buy and sell groups and Dax's group where people are selling them, so you can always look there too.
Yeah, you know what? I think now that Tesla's not the only game in town, you'll see a lot more pop up in the near future. Let's just say. I'll leave it at that.
Do you guys use any useful third-party Tesla apps?
Who's asking that?
Raymond.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's 6 messages up.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah,
okay.
Cool. Sorry.
Yeah, you know what? I was just saying today, as a matter of fact, I've got to do a video I've been meaning to do it since the summer. It's a good thing that I haven't rushed it and I took my time because I got to use the app. But the Tessie app, it's amazing. It's an amazing app. I know, Franklin, you can't use it because I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's only iOS based right now. But it's an amazing app. I know there's other apps out there that generally do the same thing. Tesla 5.
Does it have does it have like a light blue triangle? Yeah, I could get it.
You can get. Oh, it's Android too now, eh? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah, it's amazing. It's subscription based. I think they all are now these days, but it's very powerful. And I am going to do right to answer your question quickly, Raymond. Yeah, I would suggest that one. That was what I would suggest. But I am going to do a full video, and it's not going to be a short video. Let me just tell you right now, because this app is so packed with features. But I will be doing a video soon, talking about and showcasing all the features.
I use Stats app.
Go ahead, Dan.
So I use Stats app, and I also I've kind of looked into it with the other ones. Like Dax, I was going to do a video about it, but because they're all subscription based, it's kind of hard to do a video comparing all of them.
Yeah.
But Stats app, the one thing I like about Stats app is it does have a lot of widgets and shortcuts, which is good.
Yeah, and so does Tessie. And you know what? Full disclosure, I used to use the Stats app. I still have it on my phone. I shouldn't say I used to, but I'm just saying I don't use it as much. Actually, I don't use it at all. It's still on my phone. I haven't deleted it. But yeah, I use the Stats app, and it's also very good. Feature-wise, it's not as rich as the other ones out there, including Tessie. Tessie has just amazing stuff on it. Anything that the Stats app can do, Tessie can do, plus much more. But Stats is good.
Yeah, I'm actually just looking at it now. It has like Google Assistant, Google Home, Alexa, Siri, automation stuff.
Yep.
If this, then that integration, which is really cool.
It is. I don't even use half of that, but yeah.
An API that you can access. That's really neat. You got to look into this.
Yeah. From my kitchen on my Alexa, I could tell Alexa. I don't want to say because I got actually one down here too, but I could say the A word and tell it to do something for my car.
Just connect your headphones for a sec. Alexa. No.
No. But I mean, and then I've got the iPhone, and I can do it here with Siri too. So.
Yeah, no, it's helpful.
And I'm not wearing it. The one time I'm not wearing it, my Apple Watch, it integrates into the Apple Watch, which Stats app does too. And I don't know many other apps that do it. I could be wrong. Maybe all the other apps do it too. But it's great to be able to control your. It's amazing. We actually do live in 2022, eh? When you can say, I can control my car on my wrist. Wouldn't
it be cool to be able to summon it though from your wrist? Like, come pick me up.
Can you imagine? Like now you're talking Kit and Knight Rider, right?
So I got the new Pixel Watch. So I tried like a dozen different Tesla apps for it because the refund window is pretty generous. Ended up opting for Wear for Tesla, but I want to try Tessie now because if it's like all in one and it does everything, it might be a little better.
Oh yeah.
I like stuff that's open source though on GitHub, especially when I'm connecting my car to my account, to my any account for my car to a database of some sort. So I like more transparency of what I'm sending my data to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys have any Tesla stories for the week or the month or anything that you want to share with us? Dan, you put out a video.
Yeah, I did. My story is pretty much my video from today. If you guys want to check it out, it's on my channel. It's just a little bit of it's a little scare I had earlier this week driving to work. So just driving some snow because up here in Canada we got some snow now. So check out the video if you want.
Stevie asked, does it matter if you log into multiple apps? Does it ping your car more, draining the battery more?
No idea.
You don't find it does? I find when I had remember when Tesla came out with the widgets for the iPhone? I found when I had those up, my car drained so much.
Oh yeah? Well, yeah, I was just telling a friend that just got a Tesla a few days ago, and I was telling him, and he didn't know because he's new to Tesla and it's only a few days. There's so much he doesn't know. But I was telling him that, yeah, the more you look at you open your app and you look at your car, the more your car is going to drain because it's not gone to sleep, and you have to let your car to go to sleep and don't wake it up. And
so you can have multiple apps, but you'd have to sync them all to basically wake your car all at the same time, and then you won't experience drain. Good luck. 2 other questions in there for you, Dex. Are you still enjoying the Dash 9.0 screen, and do you like the Hansho rear entertainment screen?
yes, Andy, the 9-inch screen is still good, and Andy, if this is the same Andy I'm thinking, which I'm pretty sure it is, we had this discussion off air a few days ago. Hansho has a new 10.5-inch or 10.25-inch screen that has some new software in it. The software looks really good. The size difference, it wouldn't impress me. I'll put it there. I wouldn't change my 9-inch just for an extra 1.25 inch. But the new software
Size
that's
doesn't
on
matter
it,
to Dax.
hey, you and your Rocket alone over there, okay?
Is your Rocket 9 inches?
It's
No,
way
his-
more than 9 inches.
His Rocket's like 30. I'd say that's
Yeah.
probably like a 36-inch rocket.
Oh yeah, it's long.
So anyways, getting back to the screen, yeah, I the new software on it looks really, really cool. It's got a lot of features where it has like it has connectivity. I think you can do LTE or 4G or something, which is I guess LTE. You can have a front camera on the front. I don't think I'll go for it, but it is out there, and this isn't a plug because it's not a sponsor of the podcast, but Hansho does have currently a 30% off Black Friday till the end of the month sale on. There's lots of codes you can use out there. Dan's got one, we all got one. So find a code and get your purchase, especially like stuff like that where like steering wheels or screens, which are really expensive. The 30% obviously will be a bigger savings. What else was he talking about? The 9-inch screen,
the rear screen.
Oh, the rear screen. Yeah, I just did a video for that. I just installed it last week. My hand is just now recovered from the pain and suffering that it endured getting that plug out. Anyways, I haven't got a chance to play around with it too much because 99.9% of the times I'm in the front seat of the car, so I haven't got a chance to play around with it much in the back. But I know with our family and kids being in a back seat, it's going to come in useful for the times we travel and we do road trips and stuff like that. If I had it this summer when we went out east, that would have been amazing. My son would have loved it. My daughter would have loved it.
Well, with FSD wide release next month, the robotaxis like end of this year, it'll be useful when you can sit in the back and just robotaxi around, right?
Yeah, whatever. No, but that brings up a good point. Like if someone does ride sharing and they use their car for that and they put people in the back seat, it would be great for their passengers. So, you just put in something where it loops on like a little newsreel or something, a video newsreel. That would be amazing because it's an Android computer or Android tablet just nailed on there. So you can download a nice Android app, tether your phone to it, and yeah, you can maybe get news like
But
CP24.
It utilizes your phone data, right? Not the.
Yeah, you tether it to your phone. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, if it was to go into the car's LTE,
that'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Can you imagine? Yeah, Hansho, find a way to do that, and then you could easily charge an extra $100 US for that, and you get it.
I'd pay $200 extra for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Gary, Robotaxi is coming soon. Okay, Franklin, do you have a story?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell the story of my morning today. I love where I drive. Four-way stop. I make my stop. There's no other cars there, and I start going through. And there's 2 lanes. I'm on the left lane. The lady comes up. She does not stop. She goes into the right lane, and then she just kind of swerves into my lane as if I'm not even there. And fortunately, there was
in
no
the middle of the intersection as you're going through.
No, like she made it. I already made my way through the intersection, and I saw her. I'm like, hey, she's not stopping under the stop sign, and she came right through the stop sign and then swerved over into my lane. And thankfully, there was no cars. She would have sideswiped. I mean, I think she was within inches. Like it was really close. Thankfully, there's no cars on oncoming traffic, so I was able to like swerve over. And then She pulled over on the right because there was a bus that was stopped, so she couldn't go anywhere. She rolls down her window with her cell phone in her hand because she was texting, apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake." And I'm just like, put down your phone. And her car, by the way, her car was filled with kids.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Kid you not. Kid you not. Um, I was upset, but at the same time, I didn't know what to say because there was kids. I don't know. It was just the whole thing, and she was really close to hitting me, like really close. And
Wow.
she admitted fault. She's like, I made a mistake, and I wasn't expecting that. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. Oh, that's rare in this day and age, buddy. People taking
Yeah.
accountability for their own actions.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a positive, but she was literally texting and she wasn't paying attention at all. So that's my not fun Tesla story.
And you were on FSD?
No, definitely not.
Oh.
If I was on FSD, I probably would have got hit.
I wonder. I'm curious to know what would happen. I've heard a lot of people sideswipe on AP or FSD, not FSD, AP. I've heard.
But then
I've
I
heard the
hear a
car
lot of
doesn't pick
people
up.
like showing me videos of the car like moving aside on its own. Like,
I actually do have a video. Years ago, I was on the 403 and a car started coming into my lane, and I went to grab the wheel to take over because my hands were off for that split second when it happened, and I'm 99% sure as I was grabbing the wheel, it was already turning.
Yeah. Yeah, you hate to like, oh, let's see what happens. Let's see if it does it today.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, you can't just test.
I mean, we can go out with your two cars. We can try it.
We could.
Listen, I don't have a good track record with cars, so let's not do that.
Well, aren't you due for a new car?
No, shut up. Don't jinx me. Okay, listen to my story. I've got a story. It's a story. It's a Tesla story, but it's sort of a rant at the end of it too. So, like I alluded to earlier, about 5 minutes ago, I have a friend that just got a new Tesla last week, and he loves it. It's a Model Y. He loves it, but he calls me up. He has a few questions here and there, but he called me up. Actually, a friend of his called me up. So there was another person in between, but for this story, I don't need to go into all the friends. Let's just say he called me up, and he needed a universal mobile charger, the UMC, because he doesn't have one. He has everything in his garage. Electrician came and they put in the NEMA outlet, and he's waiting for it. The problem is Tesla hasn't shipped it yet. So he's been doing some supercharging here or there. But anyways, he was down in Oakville, and I'm where I am. He was gonna come to my place and then drive home, which is just west of Oakville, around Hamilton area, for anyone that knows the area. But he when he texted me, he's like, okay, I've got 17% of battery left, and it worked out to like 70 kilometers. And I'm like, when he first told me 17, I'm like, okay, you should be able to make it. And then when he told me 70 kilometers, I'm like, buddy, you may want to do the math first to see where my address is from where you are, and then from where my address to where your home is, if you can make it. And a couple hours passed by, he didn't reply to me. And then a few hours later, like I said, a couple hours passed, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go home. I'm going to get my wife to come up in the gas car and pick up the charger for me, because he asked, I don't know if I mentioned that part. He asked me to borrow it, and I said, I'll lend you mine. So he's like, I have 10%, and I don't even know if I'm going to make it home with 10%. And this is the part of the story where I was telling him, don't keep checking the app, because every time you wake the car, you're consuming energy, right? So he was under 20%, so he didn't have cabin overheat on. He didn't have Sentry on. So the only thing that's going to deplete the battery at that point is the coldness of the day, which is, it was cold out that day, and every time he kept waking up the car, right?
I've been to single digit numbers a lot over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I've been down to 0.
Yeah.
Okay,
DAX doesn't go below 10.
Okay, you guys do, and I get it, because you're experienced Tesla owners and you've had your car for a while and you're comfortable, right? Imagine you had your car for under a week. and you're driving home and you got 10%, and you don't know if you're gonna make it, right? So you can understand the range anxiety from him.
I
right?
gotta say, the new they finally added to the beta stack. The new energy graph is amazing.
Oh, you finally guys.
Oh yeah, we finally got
it.
it. Yeah,
not me.
Oh, Dan.
I'm not special.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's amazing how they break down little things like that. Yeah. So long story short, he picked up the charger and he's using it now, and he's supposed to get his sometime this week. And he said, I'll return it when I get the new one. And I'm like, buddy, hold on to it as long as you want. Mine's just in the back seat in the trunk of my car for emergencies or when I go on road trips. I have a higher power wall connector, so I don't need it. But the moral of that story, and what I was thinking, and I thought to myself, I'm going to say this on the podcast next week, is there's no way, and I remember saying this in the summer when we went through this whole thing, but this is another perfect example of there's no way Tesla should charge us $80,000 to $90,000 here in Canada for a car and not include this damn charger. This is essential, and this is a new Tesla owner that doesn't know much of it, and he's learning and everything, and he likes it and everything. But he's a typical Tesla owner that just gets a car for the first time and it's learning everything, and it's a big learning curve to begin with. The last thing you need on top of learning everything else is to have this added stress of where you're going to charge this thing. And I know some people could say he should have gotten it all prepared a long time ago, but he actually ordered the UMC before he was going to get his car delivered. So he thought he had lots of time. He'd done the electrician thing at home in his garage. He'd done that already and everything. So in this case, it's actually not his fault. It's just the delay in Tesla shipping this out to him, A, and B, the fact that Tesla doesn't include it anyways to begin with.
Two things in the
in my defense of Tesla.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
In my defense of Tesla, doesn't it say at some point when you're getting low saying, hey, maybe you should charge soon? It does that, right? I've seen
Of course.
that, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So when I was driving that Nissan Leaf, and now mind you, the car was in Japanese, so I'm not too sure, but like you drove and there was
Where
nothing,
were you?
like,
in Japan?
In Barbados.
Okay.
So you drove. I don't know if it's like this for the other manufacturers, but like there is nothing. Like there's no even navigation to tell you where the chargers are. You're on your own.
Oh yeah,
so
no, I get that. Yeah.
At least Tesla has a bit of like help to its drivers, right?
So yeah, two things in the chat. I agree completely. It should be included, and you want that amount of data, and I'll tell you why. So like we're talking about the new charging app thing. So I like skipping superchargers. So if you're on a long distance drive, I find it's better to not go the route, go the route Tesla tells you, but you can generally skip one charger and you can go one charger further.
Yeah, I do that too.
Tesla plays it safe. Yeah, so Tesla plays it safe, and I don't want to play it as safe because you get a faster charge rate, and you save a lot of time, especially depending on if the charger's like 150 or 250. So just using the old graph was good. The new graph is really helpful for data for doing that.
So Franklin, do you have the waypoints on your not waypoints, but like you can pick which route you're doing on the new FSD?
No, that's not on there.
So at some point it's coming up where, like, you know how when you go into you set an address in Google and you give it like different routes and you can pick from which one you want to do.
Yeah, multiple. Yeah.
So that's coming to Tesla. I don't know when it is.
No, we have it. We've had it. We've had it. Since
I don't. Sorry. So my question is, does it do it with superchargers where you can pick? I want to go to this supercharger instead.
No, you can't.
No, the car takes over from there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way I do it is I find the further supercharger, and then I can do it one of two ways. Either just cancel all superchargers on my route, and then I re-enable it after I pass the supercharger I don't want to go to, or I manually search for the supercharger I do want to go to.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But you're like I said, the Tesla is always going to want you to charge between like 10 and 12%. But if you really want to save time and money, and you know what you're doing, that's important. I'm not advocating for anyone to do this, but you can go lower. It can get very scary, especially when it shows in the negatives when you arrive.
I find Tesla wants you to get to 20%. Like that's where they're
15 to 20
usually
is
20.
the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
find that
the little prompt pop-up thing that they have, like stay under X speed for you to, it's very conservative. Like,
Well, that's also important too, and that's one of the things I was thinking of when you were telling people you gotta have the nerve, but you also have to be disciplined to not be doing 85 miles an hour down the highway.
yeah.
If the speed limit doesn't account for that. But I mean, I get it. The good thing with that graph, getting back to that graph you were mentioning, the new energy graph, is I find that on the right hand side it'll tell you what you'll get your destination at, but it does it in decimal points now. It's that accurate. So instead of, if you look up at the top of the screen where the battery is, and instead of it saying you'll get there 9% or 8%, it'll actually say you'll get there at 7.8%. And on the top, it just rounds up to 8. But down at the bottom, it's so precise. It actually gives you the decimal point, which is good to know.
Yeah, because if you're at like 0, I'd rather know I'm at 0.5 than 0.0, right?
Okay. I think we're gonna wrap this one up.
There's one more question.
There is a question.
One more question. Yeah. I think you have to go up to 932 for that one.
932. From Franklin? No. Okay. Any other serious questions?
Wow. You're just disregarding user questions.
Oh, okay, want to play this game? Okay, let's play.
I like Andy's comment.
Andy's comment.
Where's Andy's comment?
The one right after mine.
Hold on. Caution orange. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for all the comments from the peanut gallery. You guys there. But seriously, thanks to everyone in the chat that participated and asked their questions and contributed to the. You don't have to be sorry, Andy. You don't have to be sorry. Who contributed to the podcast tonight, guys? Thanks most of all to Franklin and Dan for taking their time out of their busy schedules to come and help me out and not watch me. What did I say when I chatted with you guys before the show? Steer this ship by myself, solo. And Dan said you don't want to see me sink.
Yeah, we wouldn't let you sink.
Yeah.
Although after tonight, I think I don't know if we're gonna be invited back because of all the.
Well, no, you and your rocket can come back anytime.
Thanks.
I don't even.
Franklin?
Dan's thinking to himself, I'm never putting the rocket back in this podcast ever again.
No,
I love that rocket. No, you know what? I'm telling you right now, you cannot come back. You cannot come back on this podcast without your rocket.
So I was actually looking at, because of all the Tesla shop new stuff, I hopped over to SpaceX, and SpaceX has a Falcon 9 replica, but it's again $150.
Yeah. A friend of mine that you guys know, not this Gary, but another Gary, sent me a picture a couple weeks ago of a Falcon 9. Maybe it's the same one you're thinking of. And it was probably around the same price, so it probably wasn't the same thing, but it was huge. It's probably the size of yours, if not maybe a little bit smaller. And I didn't even know they have that. And apparently they have other rockets that actually can launch.
No, this one launches. You just need to put an engine in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Why was that?
Another type of rocket I've been interested in buying, but it's not for this podcast.
Okay, Franklin, where can we find you?
Mother Frunker on YouTube or Mother Forker on YouTube.
Yes. Okay. The glaring omission of something else.
And that's for his Franklin's food channel. He doesn't really.
Yeah, we haven't got a new.
So there's a reason for that. I've been actually extremely active in recording food videos. But I want to try doing something where I publish 30 food videos in 30 days.
Oh, so you're squirreling them all up.
Yeah, because I can't keep up with that kind of pace. So I want to try doing it. I want to see what kind of boost it gives my channel.
Yeah, I remember we had this conversation.
Yeah, so I've been doing videos, and they're all edited. I'll probably start that sometime next month.
Oh, nice.
So you have too much content.
I don't know about that. I need some more ideas for dinners. So, Dan, where can people find you?
Northern Tesla on YouTube, Northern_Tesla on Twitter, and Instagram too. I'm starting up on that one as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I noticed a little more. I don't go on Instagram that much, but see the little pop-up notifications come up on my phone.
Where can people find you, Dax?
You find me right here at YouTube, DaxM. I don't think it's underscore DaxM. Just when you get to YouTube, search for Tesla Talks or DaxM. That's where you can find me. Or on Facebook, in my Canadian Facebook groups of the Model 3 and the Model Y. You can you can see me there or find me there. And that's it. Thanks, guys. We're going to wrap this one up. We'll call it a day. We will see you probably, you know what? A month from now is very close to Christmas. So if I don't see you guys before Christmas, because I can't commit to anything during the holidays, because it's family time for everyone, we will see you guys in the new year. But you never know. I might get generous and maybe something a few weeks before Christmas in a couple.
We'll
weeks,
have to
maybe.
do an emergency holiday update pod.
Oh yes. If we do get our holiday update, we can definitely do that.
See you guys all Friday.
Oh yeah, Friday. We'll talk to you later, folks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.